I'm joined now by Mike Bezanson, who picked up another first-round victory, this time TKO over Jason Landry at NEF 40. Mike, how are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing really good, man. And I wanted to make it a point to get you on the program because that was one of the more exciting fights of the night, both while the fight was going on and then afterwards. We'll talk a little bit about that later. First off, congratulations, man. That was a really impressive win. And last time I saw your opponent fight was down in Lewiston, and he really looked like a monster. He just came in and was just throwing some major shots. Did you expect him to come out as aggressively against yourself?
So actually the funny thing is in the game plan we knew he was gonna, we knew that Jason was gonna be, very fast charging kind of style. And, he's a slugger. He's a warrior. You know what I'm saying? He comes in and he's throwing bombs and he's there to have a fight and put on a show. So we knew that he was going to rush. I didn't know he was going to rush that quick. I thought he was going to, cause his last two fights when we were watching him, you could see he comes in fast, but not like that fast. There was some aggression towards that one, which takes a lot of guts to even do it in the first place, which I don't know. We didn't think, we knew he was going to rush. We didn't know he was going to rush that hard.
When you're trying to prepare for an opponent like that, someone that's going to come in so aggressively, does it make sense to try and clinch with them and just try to burn them out to get them a little bit more tired? Because it seems like he did not want to get this fight out of the first round. This was going to be a fight in his eyes.
Absolutely. In the game plan, honestly, I wanted to duke it out and throw hands and give the fans what they wanted to see, man. That's all. The whole thing is a performance, and everyone's there to have a good show. And I was actually really looking forward to this fight due to the fact that I knew he was going to sit there and try to trade with me, which is exactly what had happened. Could have clinched, but I wanted a slugfest. Seems my previous fights I didn't really get to throw hands too much back and forth with anybody. So I wanted to put my toughness to the test, I guess you'd say, in a sense.
Now, were you ever stunned in there? Did he ever hurt you?
No, he didn't. He had grazed me, maybe on my left, above my left eye a little bit, but no, not stunned, no.
So let's talk about the stoppage. His corner clearly thought it was questionable. One of his cornermen jumped over the cage. I wasn't quite sure who it was until he was in the cage and protesting the stoppage. What were your thoughts? Did you feel like it was a clean stoppage?
I feel like John is a very experienced ref, and he kind of noticed what he's doing. And of course, like they say in the rules meeting, we're amateurs. We're there for experience. We're not getting paid the big bucks yet. So could it have gone a little bit longer? Yes, but obviously that's why John is where he's at today. You know what I mean? It's his decision, and if he felt the fight should have been stopped at that time, then he probably made the right decision. I would have liked it to go a little bit longer. That way there was no controversy in whatever had happened due to that the person that had jumped over the cage, I believe, was his brother. So obviously emotions are tighter because it's family. So I get where it's coming from, and no grudge matches are held because of the reactions that he had actually done. So I think it could have gone longer, but obviously, like I said, John's an experienced ref. He knows what he's doing.
Did you get a chance to talk to anyone from his camp after the fights?
The only person, actually, Jason had reached out to me today, and me and him had talked a little bit on Facebook, and he sent me a message letting me congratulate me, and he was a gentleman about it, and I congratulated him. And like, as far as I appreciate him for reaching out to me and telling me that we had a good fight, man. And it was actually, I wasn't expecting it at all. I thought that he had bad blood towards me, but it's just one of those things. You get caught up in the moment, and you let the emotions get at the best of you, I guess. But no hard feelings towards him and his team, and hopefully they keep grinding and working on their goals, whatever their goals are.
So for anybody that didn't get to see the fight, obviously NEF didn't stream it. Just run us through the finish. How did it present itself for you to get this win?
So what had happened, the first, I'd say 20 seconds of him rushing in and just keeping that pressure on me, I was kind of trying to get my grounds and stabilize. And once I had pushed him off and kind of got my grounds, that's where I threw a right head kick, followed by a left and a straight right. And then I traded with him for a little bit and stunned him with my right and dropped him, but he sprung back right up. And then I had caught him with two left hooks, you could call them. And that's when he had bounced backwards, fell, and bounced off the cage, and John stepped in. He did. If you look at the video, you can't. Well, actually, most people can't watch the video because it's on my Facebook. But like I said, it's one of those controversial things, man. It's he did fall limp, but then he bounced off the cage and had grabbed my leg. So it's one of those things. What would have happened if the ref didn't stop? But I mean, he did fall, so it's not like he tripped. He got stunned.
So when he fell, did you think that he was out, and then when he hit the ground, maybe it woke him back up?
I think that he was not fully out unconscious. I think he definitely got stunned to the point where obviously you drop to the ground. So I think that's what John saw instantly and then jumped on it. But I think that could he have kept going? I won't know personally, but yeah, I really don't know, man. I think it was a good stoppage, honestly, because we're amateurs. Like I said, we're not getting paid the big bucks yet.
So if Jason's camp wants an immediate rematch or just a rematch down the line, is that something you're open to?
I think down the line, I got other goals that I'm trying to set right now. As far as I want to fight people I haven't, more experience maybe. I want to fight the best of the best at my bracket right now, and hopefully try to line some title fights up. That's what I want to do. I want to get 170 titles on Bezanson and NEF, and I want to get as high as I can and fight the toughest dudes out there at 170 amateur ranks right now. I'm not trying to go back in the past. If later on Jason does stick with it and he turns pro, I would definitely rematch him. If we turn pro, he earned it, you know.
Well, let's talk a little bit about you and your career now. You're 3-0. As you stated, you really want to start to take the welterweight division by storm here in New England. When did you first start training, and what is your background in the sport?
I started training so I got in the game probably, I don't know, when I was 16, I started boxing. And I boxed for maybe 16, 17, I started boxing, and I boxed for all throughout high school and then a little bit after high school. And then I stopped for a year because emotional thing kind of happened. My dad passed away, and then I was kind of in a rough spot. And then I got back into it with Greg here in Lancaster. I don't remember how old I was. I think I was 18. And then I've been doing, I followed up with my boxing. I've been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and kickboxing ever since, really.
Sorry.
Doing it it's something you learn to live with, and then that's life, you know. And I actually use it to my advantage now. A lot of the reason behind me fighting is due to the fact that it was something that my dad had appreciated deeply, and I remember him talking to all his friends and saying how much he was proud of me for boxing and stuff like that. And I use that to my advantage now, something to fuel the fire and just kind of like make him proud and looking down at me, you know what I mean? That's why you'd see in my previous fights, that song that I'd walked out to in my previous fights was kind of like a emotional song. And it was both my first and second fight were actually not too far off the date of him passing away, as far as like the day of the month kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Yeah, I hear you. I lost my dad about a year ago now, so he was my best friend. He was my biggest supporter, so I can understand how you're feeling. I know it's a tough thing to process and go through. So it's very, very cool that you're doing it and honoring him and knowing he's looking down on you. You know, you're talking a little bit about wanting to really take this to the next level. You're 3-0 now, as I've said. What is it you want to accomplish here over the next year or two, or how many amateur fights do you want to have before you do turn pro?
That's actually, I'm super glad you asked me that. So I got 3 goals that I've set for myself as of now, and I've accomplished them so far, but obviously my amateur career I'm not pro yet. So I have the one goal is every single fight that I am in, I want to win by technical knockout or knockout. Achieved that so far. The other one is never be brought to the ground in an amateur bout, as far as getting taken to the ground. Not that I'm afraid of jiu-jitsu. It's just one of those things that's kind of a cool milestone for me to set for myself. You know what I mean? And then obviously I want to get a title at amateur, just because, I don't know, it's just something I've always wanted. Mm-hmm. Just something to set a goal that I can achieve and be like, all right, on to the next one kind of thing.
You know, it's funny. One of my close friends trains up at Young's MMA, Ricky Dexter. He won a title as an amateur. He fought at 170, and he was telling me just how difficult it was to find fights at welterweight here in New England. When you look at the landscape of fighters, just as an amateur right now, who stands out? Who are some of the guys that you really like to get in there and test yourself against?
I don't think I've looked at any amateurs as far as who I'd want to start going up against. You know what I mean? I just look way past that. I mean, I'm not. I'll fight anyone that's a solid rank and as far as their win percentage and stuff. I want to fight people that have the higher percentage on Tapology and stuff and are more in favor to win. I want to fight those people. You know what I mean? I want to fight the people that people think I can't beat. You know. There's no one in particular that I can think of at 170 that I would call out to fight. I mean, it's kind of free game. I'll fight any of them. It doesn't really matter.
What do you walk around at? How much weight do you have to cut to get to 170?
This one I was a little bit heavier than my last fight. I cut a decent amount. I'd say about 180 something. About in the 180s. I'm in the 180s. I can't exactly tell you exactly how much I weigh, but I'm a heavier set 170 at this point in time.
Well, that's not too bad. If you're in the 180s,
it's not... I might be saying that gently.
Okay.
I'm heavy.
Well, that could play into your advantage when you step into the cage and are facing other welterweights. So we'll see how that translates moving forward. Let's talk a little bit about your gym and who some of your main training partners are, and how long you've been there. I know you're out of New Hampshire, so just talk a little bit about that.
So I'm out of Kaze Dojo in Lancaster, New Hampshire. It's far north, like really far north. I wouldn't expect anybody to know where that is on the map. I got two training partners I got right now as far as grappling that I would grapple on a good basis, and that's Ian Milligan, heavier dude, and been with the gym for a very long time now. Sparring wise, I travel to go to spar. You know what I mean? Obviously, because it's such a small community up here, and there's very slim pickings for people that want to strike, and you know what I mean as far as that. I did go to Devin Powell's gym there in Nostos, I think that's how you pronounce it, a couple weeks ago, and sparred a couple of his guys, which was cool experience. Great gym, awesome guys, very welcoming. But as far as that, I mean, I'm trying to spar anywhere I can. So if there's any gyms out there that are looking for someone to come down and spar with, I'd love to. I'm not afraid to travel. I mean, it's the dedication you have to kind of put into the sport if you want to be successful. So anybody out there that's looking for sparring partners, don't be shy to give me a call or hit me up on Facebook for sure, by any means.
I can tell you, I live up in the Bangor area, and I go to Young's MMA occasionally when I want to get a little work in. There's a lot of guys up there, so if you're ever feeling intrigued to travel up this way, there's a lot of good competition that could give you a little sweat. So just keep that in mind. Now, when is it that you want to fight next? And the next NEF card is November, but there are other promotions here in the New England area. So do you have your eyes set on fighting for one of them next, or do you think you're going to stick with NEF?
So I love NEF and the crowds that it brings, and just everything. I mean, I've been, obviously all three of my fights have been NEF, so I got this comfort zone with them, and they're awesome people, especially Matt and them. But like Combat Zone, obviously Calvin Cater and them. I mean, Cage Titans. There's all kinds of these organizations. I would love to. I'm here for experience. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get as much experience as I can as soon as I can get it, because time is of the essence here. And of course, my goal is to become pro and be the best professional athlete I can possibly be there. So I have none set in stone. Would I like to be back in NEF this coming November? Absolutely. We're going to see where I'm at. I actually, this fight I fought, I didn't tell anybody really, but I mean, I told Matt and them, but I think I have a torn hip flexor on my left side that I tore the Sunday before I actually fought Jason. And it was bugging the heck out of me throughout the whole week, and I was thinking, I'm like, this thing is never gonna heal. And then it got a little bit better than when I was behind the stage there. A couple fights before I had to go out, I'm throwing pads with Greg, trying to warm up, my coach, and he held up the left kicks, and I looked at him, I said, I can't throw left kicks. I can't even throw left hooks without dealing with this pain. So that's another thing that I had done, and I never really told anybody, and I'm not using that to make anybody be like, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad, but that's what I'm dealing with right now. So I got to get this thing checked out and make sure it's not anything serious. That is what we're dealing with, and hopefully just a minor little thing that I can get over. So I'm not gonna set any. There's nothing set in stone as far as fighting in November. But if this is not a tear or anything serious, I'm definitely gonna be fighting in November for sure. Absolutely, there's no question about it. I need to get in there as fast as I can.
Oh, very cool. And again, one of the best performances, best fights of the evening up in Orono at the Collins Center for NEF 40. So congratulations on getting another victory, staying undefeated, now 3-0. And it's been a pleasure actually getting to talk to you for the first time. Before I let you go, Mike, anyone you want to thank or any sponsors you have, the floor is yours.
All right. I would just like to thank, of course, Greg Williams, all the corners, and anybody that's been there for me. Obviously my family and all them. Also, the biggest thing I want to thank everybody that came out, posted, liked on all my Facebook posts and stuff like that. And anybody that has supported me, it's kind of cool to see such a small community come together and actually be on my side and in this journey that I got going on right now. And we're just getting started. So looking forward to what the future's got in store, and then can't wait to get back in there and start throwing hands and put on a performance,
Very much so. Well, congratulations again on the win, and I look forward to seeing you back in the cage whenever that may be.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come and talk to me.